Hello, my name is Elira, and my main intention is to create a community in which we can support one another in cultivating our love and trust for life in all that it brings and in all that it is within ourselves and around the world, because that is all part of some bigger process that we might not be able to grasp, but we do have our own specific role, a purpose that we get to serve. And by finding sense that is woven into our life and into the events that connect them through our emotions and sensations and the state of our nervous system, we can understand this a little better and serve with dedication that also allows us to come closer to our potential that will eventually bring fulfillment not just into our lives but also into our environment and create a legacy that we're proud of leaving behind. Today, I have decided to talk about avoidance, which is oftentimes that which stands in the way of becoming the version of us that we can actually be proud of. And it doesn't matter in which area of our lives, whether it's the career, the professional part, or whether it's the intimate part, our relationships, families, or whether it's just creating some healthy habits and supporting them through our everyday actions. We have the tendency to avoid looking at ourselves with honesty where there is something that we're not happy with. The thing is that when we do that, this is directly what stops us from moving forward. You have something that doesn't function in your life and you avoid looking at it. So you will obviously stay in that place for a while longer, and it will make you more unhappy because you are staying there, although you already have the awareness that it's something that you're not happy with. But you and your ego and your attachment to your identity is probably what is holding you back from actually honestly looking at whatever it is that you're doing and you're not particularly happy with or proud of. And this is completely normal because we have the tendency to get attached to our identity. And when someone asks you, who are you? Obviously, our responses are going to be very virtuous. But when we look at our actions, at our words, and the way that we approach life, our internal processes and our energy, that is probably a very different story. And this alignment or misalignment is usually what creates the conflict within ourselves and kind of separates our internal reality from the reality that we're actually living, which makes it even more difficult to be honest with ourselves because what is presented to other people and what we actually are is quite a different version. This creates a lot of shame and guilt. It is much more difficult to trust that you can be vulnerable with someone who you've never really showed your true face to. But the thing is that anything that you're not hiding because of other people, but because of how judgmental you are towards it. And yes, this has been programmed through years of experience. It can be brought from childhood, from, any early experiences that have formed you and your coping mechanisms. So it doesn't necessarily need to be yours, as in part of you, but is definitely woven into your internal system and your structure and your nervous system, which is what keeps you alive and protected from any harm, right? Our nervous system and ego are quite connected, and I will talk about that very soon, but it probably won't fit into this video, so make sure that you have hit the follow button. When there's never any confrontation, which is how we usually operate in our small communities, it doesn't allow us to optimize and have the intervention necessary in order to change our behavior or the direction of our actions. In order to actually be ourselves, we have to become aware first of what we are not. And that is very challenging to face also because we have been conditioned to believe that it's sinful, that is wrong, that is bad. And these harsh words have so deeply scarred us that now they make it even more difficult to face ourselves. So first, I invite you to not use these words, like to really keep yourself in check and just become more aware of them. How are you using them? When are you using them? Why are you using them? And try to sit with it. It has become my practice, and I, at this point, rarely catch myself judging something as wrong, but there is still a habit when I just use it and I don't even mean it. And then the second part would be to, when you catch yourself talking about something as wrong, or feeling about something, in a bit of an evasive way, then try to sit with it. Like, trigger yourself and get comfortable with it, because this is the only way that you can actually become honest with yourself, period. Like, that will be your foundation, but you need to become familiar and comfortable with the triggers and with the discomfort of the reality, because you might not be who you want to be or who you are meant to be, and that's completely okay. That's part of the journey, but in order to change it, you need to first become aware of it. The way that I translate events in life and any discomfort is that it allows me to face that which I need more capacity for. And by extending my capacity to face a certain discomfort, I am obviously building more resilience towards life and any situation that I might be put in. These situations don't necessarily need to be bad or confronting, but very often they confront us in ways that make us feel bad about them. Whenever something that's really uncomfortable is gonna happen to you, I encourage you to try to find a perspective that can actually support you in dealing with it, okay? Like, offer that situation a meaning, give it a sense. And it can be anything, but one thing I can promise you is not gonna help is turning your attention externally, okay? So it's not a punishment, there's nothing wrong with it, and nobody else has anything to do with it, okay? This is your journey, and you need to learn to face it and learn to read these situations as opportunities for your own internal evolution, because that is what we are here for. Whether you call it karma, whether you call it incarnation, whether you call it purpose, whether you talk about it as following Christ, or any label that you put on it, it will always mean embracing life with more trust and faith and gratitude. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I will be here soon, probably next week. So make sure that you stay around so that you don't miss on more that I will be talking on. It will be around somatic, something from the neuroscience, some tools that have helped me in facing life as it is with more ease and joy, and cultivating love and trust and faith in all that is unfolding for me. So thank you for watching this, and I hope that it can bring some value into your life. But remember that value is something that needs to be experienced. So make sure that you actually apply some of the knowledge that you have gained from this video.